Hello and welcome back. Dear learners, so far we have learned about the Russian alphabet, vowels and consonants, and gender in Russian language. As we already know that in Russian alphabet there are 33 letters, out of which there are 10 vowels and 21 consonants and 2 signs. We have also talked about gender in Russian language, as we know that in Russian there are 3 genders: masculine gender, feminine gender and neuter gender. With the help of certain examples, we have also learned about the personal pronouns and possessive pronouns in Russian. We have also discussed about the fundamental rules applying when we are discussing the agreement between noun and adjective endings. You have also been introduced to the verbs in Russian language. As we have discussed that in verbs we have 2 categories, the perfective and imperfective verbs. We have also discussed about how to conjugate certain verbs, as these verbs are conjugated based on their endings. Dear learners, now in this lesson we will be discussing in detail about the verbs and their conjugations. With the help of certain activities and examples, we will find out how these verbs are conjugated and how to remember them. Further, you will also be learning a few new Russian words and expressions. So, shall we go ahead? Russian verbs and their conjugations. In Russian language, verbs play a very significant role, since verbs are used to express the right meaning and emotions in a sentence. Verbs are basically the action words. They are the things which we do normally in our day-to-day life. Anything like to study, to run, to walk, to love, to eat, etc. are verbs. There is a huge number of verbs present in Russian language, and the strict grammar rules which are to be followed to conjugate the verbs are a very important key. These rules are based on the endings of the verbs and groups they belong to. We will be able to understand them and conjugate them in a right manner if we pay attention to their endings. Before we start learning the exact rules and fundamentals of conjugation of verbs, let us start with the text. As we have been discussing in the earlier lessons that these texts are used to make you understand the Russian vocabulary, expressions, the usage of verbs and the context are of important matter. That is why all these texts are being used. Let us pay attention to the words and expressions and the verbs used in this text. Сегодня воскресенье. Сергей и Галина Николаевна отдыхают дома. Каждый день Галина Николаевна готовит завтрак, но сегодня завтрак готовит Сергей. Галина Николаевна слушает радио. Ее муж профессор. Он смотрит телевизор. Вся семья очень любит слушать русские песни. Сергей студент. Его сестра Инна. Она маленькая. Она любит играть в шахматы. Но сегодня она не играет. Она делает домашние задания. Dear learners, if we pay attention to the usage of such verbs which are being used in this text, it is very clear for us to understand the expression which are used in this text. Let us understand this text now and also find out the verbs. Сегодня воскресенье. Today it's Sunday. Sergei и Galina Nikolaevna отдыхают дома. Sergei and Galina Nikolaevna are taking rest at home. Каждый день Галина Николаевна готовит завтрак. Every day Галина Николаевна prepares breakfast. Но сегодня завтрак готовит Сергей. But today breakfast is being prepared by Sergei. Galina Nikolaevna слушает радио. Galina Nikolaevna is listening to radio. Ее муж профессор. Her husband is a professor. Он смотрит телевизор. He is watching television. Вся семья очень любит слушать русские песни. The entire family loves very much listening to the Russian songs. The second paragraph. Сергей студент. Sergei is a student. Его сестра Инна, his sister Inna, она маленькая, she is young. Она любит играть в шахматы. She loves to play chess. Но сегодня она не играет. But today she is not playing. Она делает домашние задания. She is doing homework. Dear learners, when we are reading the text, there are several words and expressions which we have already learned in our previous lessons. In this text, we have also used good number of verbs which are already told to you in the earlier lessons, like отдыхать, which means to take rest. If we pay attention to the sentence, Sergei и Галина Николаевна отдыхают дома. Here the verb отдыхать has been conjugated according to the fundamental rule applied. Please pay attention to the next sentence. Галина Николаевна готовит завтрак. Here the verb готовить is being used and conjugated. Again, in the next sentence, но сегодня завтрак готовит Сергей. Готовить has been used, and according to the gender of the noun, they have been conjugated. All these personal pronouns which are used for Galina Nikolaevna, Anna has been used, and accordingly готовить has been conjugated. If we pay attention to the next sentences, we have Галина Николаевна слушает радио. Here the verb слушать has been used and conjugated. Next, он смотрит телевизор. Он has been used for the husband of Galina Nikolaevna. Here the verb смотреть has been conjugated. If we pay attention to the next sentence, here the verb is любить, and accordingly it has been conjugated. In a sentence, вся семья очень любит слушать русские песни. In the next paragraph, we have the usage of любить and играть. Please pay attention to the sentence. Она маленькая. Она любит играть в шахматы. Here the verb любить and играть are used together. And in the last sentence, we have used делать, which means to do, and accordingly делать has been conjugated in a sentence. Она делает домашнее задание. So accordingly, here if you pay attention to the sentences which are used with verbs, these verbs are playing a very important role in expressing the right emotion in the Russian, as well as all these sentences when combined together, they are making a contextual text. Dear learners, you must remember that whenever in Russian we are using nie, it is used to indicate negation. In the negative answer to a question, there is a pause after the word нет. Such expressions which we have learned about in the previous lessons as well. For example, это ваш дом? Нет, это не мой дом. Here we have used нет and nie in negation, and we have also seen that there is a small pause after nie. Нет, это не мой дом. So accordingly, you can also make your own sentences. Dear learners, since we have been talking about the conjugation of verbs, we will be discussing in detail about how these verbs are conjugated in Russian. Please pay attention to the conjugations and pronunciation while I will conjugate these verbs for you. The first verb is любить. Я люблю, ты любишь, он, она любит, мы любим, вы любите, and они любят. Готовить means to prepare. Я готовлю, ты готовишь, он, она готовит, мы готовим, вы готовите, and они готовят. Let's learn a few more verbs. Говорить means to speak. Я говорю, ты говоришь, он, она говорит, мы говорим, вы говорите, and они говорят. Смотреть means to watch. Я смотрю, ты смотришь, он, она смотрит, мы смотрим, вы смотрите, and они смотрят. Let's also learn a few more verbs such as хотеть, which means to want, and ходить, which means to walk. Я хочу, ты хочешь, он, она хочет, мы хотим, вы хотите, and они хотят. Dear learners, if you remember that we have discussed about the usage of verbs of motion in Russian. We have different categories of verbs in verbs of motion, where we have verb which shows an incomplete action and a verb which shows complete action. Accordingly, we have идти and ходить. Идти means to walk or to go on foot, and ходить means to go on foot, but it signifies a complete action. Let's learn about the verb ходить first. Я хожу, ты ходишь, он, она ходит, мы ходим, вы ходите, они ходят. So accordingly, you can conjugate these verbs depending upon their ending, and that is why if you pay attention to the slides, we have categorically highlighted their endings in each and every slide. For having a better understanding how these verbs are being used in day-to-day communication, it is very important to understand their meanings while used in texts. That is why we have another text for you. Please pay attention to the words and expressions and verbs while I read this text for you. Сегодня выходной день. Сегодня вся дома. Даже Сергей. Как вы знаете, он очень любит спорт, особенно футбол. Его любимая футбольная команда – это «Динамо». Когда «Динамо» играет, Сергей всегда на стадионе. Here in the first paragraph, if we pay attention to the usage of words and expressions, many words and expressions are already known to you. There are verbs which are also used to indicate emotion, and with the help of these verbs, the right expression is expressed in the text. Let's learn about. Сегодня выходной день. Today is a holiday. In Russian, for holiday we have выходной день. Сегодня все дома. Whenever in Russian, if you want to say everybody or everyone, we use все. Whenever everything is used, we say всё. The only change is in usage of ye and yo at the end. Please repeat after me. Все means everybody. Всё means everything. Сегодня все дома. Today everybody is at home. Даже Сергей. Even Сергей. Как вы знаете, он очень любит спорт, особенно футбол. As you know, that he loves very much sport, especially football. Его любимая футбольная команда – это «Динамо». His favorite football team is Dynamo. For team in Russian, we have word «команда». Футбольная команда – football team. Когда «Динамо» играет, when Dynamo plays, Сергей всегда на стадионе. Sergey is always at the stadium. Let's pay attention to the next paragraph. Galina Nikolaevna смотрит телевизор. Сегодня она отдыхает, но не готовит завтрак, не готовит обед, не готовит ужин. Завтрак, обед, ужин сегодня готовит ее муж. Он хороший повар. Когда выходной день, он всегда на кухне и делает интересные эксперименты. Here again we have used words and expressions, most of which you already know, and there are several verbs which are also used. Some of them you know and have been conjugating in the previous lessons. Let's pay attention to the meaning of the text. The second paragraph. Galina Nikolaevna смотрит телевизор. Galina Nikolaevna is watching television. Сегодня она отдыхает. Today she is taking rest. Не готовит завтрак, не готовит обед, не готовит ужин. Not preparing the breakfast, lunch and the dinner. Завтрак, обед, ужин сегодня готовит ее муж. The breakfast, lunch and dinner today is being prepared by her husband. Он хороший повар. He is a good cook. For cook or chef in Russian, we have a word повар. Хороший повар. So this word повар, it doesn't change. Even if a female is a chef or a cook, we will use она хороший повар. So according to the word or the noun повар, the adjective is used. Когда выходной день, он всегда на кухне и делает интересные эксперименты. When it is a holiday, he is always in the kitchen and he does interesting experiments. Let's learn about the last paragraph. Маленькая Инна сегодня не отдыхает. Завтра у нее экзамен. Она занимается, повторяет текст, пишет трудные слова и делает упражнения. Let's learn the meaning of this last paragraph. Маленькая Инна сегодня не отдыхает. Little Inna is not taking rest today. Завтра у нее экзамен. Tomorrow she has an examination. Она занимается. She is studying. Повторяет текст. She is revising the text. Пишет трудные слова. Writing difficult words. Делает упражнения and doing exercises. So, according to the words and expressions and verbs which are being used in this text, these texts which are being used in Russian for the better understanding of the meaning coming out of these sentences, we are comprising them together for your better understanding. If you look at the usage of such words and expressions and verbs, and most of these words, expressions and verbs are known to you, you can make your own such text. These are the words and expressions and verbs which we use in our day-to-day activities. So, accordingly, the fundamental rule of learning Russian language is exercising them. That is why in the beginning itself we have used all these words and expressions, then we have conjugated these verbs, and at the end we have combined them together in a form of a text for your better understanding. Let us learn a few more new Russian words and expressions. We will make a few sentences again in the same style as we have done in the previous lessons. We will make simple sentences, interrogative sentences, so that you can understand the intonation and pronunciation and the meaning of these sentences. Please pay attention. Это стол? Нет, это не стол. Это стул. Here, if you pay attention, that in these words we are using the negation. First we are asking in an interrogative, then we are answering in negation. Это стол. Is this a table? Нет, это не стол. Это стул. No, this is not a table, this is a chair. And likewise, это книга. Нет, это не книга, это журнал. Это студент. Нет, это не студент, это преподаватель. Это карта. Нет, это не карта, это картина, etc. So, according to the same fundamental rule, you can also make your own such sentences in negation as well, because whenever we are talking or communicating in Russian, we are always using simple sentences, interrogative sentences, affirmative sentences, as well as we use sentences which are negative in nature or in negation. Let us do this dialogue. Masha, где мой красный портфель? Там в углу. Нет, это не мой портфель. Мой портфель не такой, старый. Саша, не знаешь, где моя новая книга? Да, знаю. Твоя книга справа. А где твоя книга? Моя книга слева. В углу means in the corner, справа means on the right, and слева means on the left. These three new expressions which we are used here are basically for the directions. In this dialogue, we have used negation, and for the better understanding, whenever we are talking in Russian, you can use such situations for communicating in Russian, especially while using negation. Dear learners, in this lesson we have talked about the conjugation of verbs. We have also talked about how the ending of the nouns and adjectives are being used in the text. These verbs which are differentiated by their endings are being conjugated. We had given you a few examples. We have also used these texts to make you understand how negation in Russian is being used. We will be discussing more about the conjugation of verbs according to their endings. These verbs, which are categorically categorized into two different groups, are being used. We have also knew a little about the verb khajij, which we will talk about in detail in our coming lessons. We will conclude this lesson here. Thank you.